Hello, this is Typo. I've been bullet journaling for almost a month now, and since we're moving on to the next month of March, I decided it would probably be a good idea to go over my past bullet journal and how I plan on improving it and what I'm doing to move forward. I'll go ahead and link my blog post down below about the start of my bullet journal. Initially, this is what my original bullet journal looked like. It's just a clear cover with yellowy pages, which I kind of don't like, so after I'm done with these two books, I'll probably move on to a different kind of book. But yeah, they're just dotted. These are actually kind of close together. I don't know if I kind of like having a small little range so I can write smaller. When it comes to graphing stuff out, it's not very much room. All it is just a clear cover book, front and back clear, spiral bound, which I like because then I can just, go like this and write on it. When you put it in backpacks, they're not very durable, they warp, and then they become difficult to open. Over the month of February, I found this, I just googled watercolor print and I found this design. If you pay attention to my blog, I also use this design to make my origami pillbox out of. I just think it's very pretty and colorful, but also very simple, and I really like a lot of color because it's just sitting on top of so much negative space. I really like it. So I left the first page blank. My index, I actually didn't use at all. I'm actually probably just going to not ever use an index ever again. Oh yeah, and these are the pens I use. A lot of bullet journalists talk about the pens I use. I just use a regular G2 Pilot pen, 0.38, just because I like the narrow point. So this is a point, oh crap. This is as you can tell, I don't really use these pens. I'm just scribbling all over my bullet journal. So this is a 0.7 and this is a 0.38. I don't know if you can really tell, but to me the difference is huge and it really affects my writing. So this is my annual schedule. As you can see, I've added a lot. I am pretty confident that I'm going to keep this in my future bullet journals. I'm not sure about this exact layout. I did see another layout that I thought was really interesting, which I will link below. But I also wasn't really sure if I was interested in that either because following these grid lines horizontally, I don't know, maybe I'm just weird. I have trouble keeping track of that. Like I always have to line up a ruler or a piece of paper when I'm looking horizontally across. But you can see I've added a lot of events coming in March, so it seems like I just sort of add as you go, like when people plan a month ahead, just write it down, or when I had a note like here is just like me going over my finances, just for me to remember to go over my finances, and I scheduled that like somewhere in the middle of February, which is the only reason why I wrote it down on the yearly calendar, because it was past the month in advance. You can see here that I highlighted a lot of things and then I started circling later. I decided that I don't like lugging highlighters with me everywhere. I like that the bullet journal is a kind of you do as you go kind of thing. It's easier to just take one pen with you rather than like a bulky highlighter. This is my yearly budget. I've added these tabs just to help me reference back to it really quickly. You can see they're not originally in there, and I just cut some paper and used double-sided wrapping tape, and I just stuck it on there. And that was it. Nothing special, and then I just used a gel pen to write what it's called. But as you can tell, it's still the beginning of the year. I haven't really gone over February yet. This is actually pretty blank, except for that one little corner there, but it'll be blurred out. I did highlight it. I used a little index card earlier to mark, this is what this color means, this is what that color means, but again, I don't like lugging highlighters with me everywhere, so I don't think I will be continuing that. I've added some more ideas here on things that I want to do, things that like more specifics into some of my home improvement plans. but that's about it. I haven't gotten anything done on my movies, shows, or my books, but I have started again on the Ink series, Ink Heart, Ink Spell, and Ink Death. I never finished Ink Death, but I really loved the books when I was younger. The movie was terrible, so don't watch it, unless you like Brendan Fraser. Here I used a tab again just so I could remember where this is, and it also inadvertently marks this page. And then I also have on the other side my home improvement list to mark these guys, and I have added some more ideas that I've just come across that I didn't remember right away when I initially made this list. I have actually finished this. And I finished this. I had the things to buy page. I decided to just get rid of that entirely. I am not going to use this at all. I ended up making another one, and then I just completely forgot about this one. So that one I went into more detail and I just tabbed it so I can reference that one whenever I need to. I decided to add these tabs, and since it took up a whole page, I tried to decorate it, but I mean February was over by the time I added this because I just added these tabs like 3 days ago. So I just kind of just wrote down Romance and Valentine's. So this is February month. I still didn't really use this monthly thing very much. I did add this. I tend to plan things shorter term just because I don't really have any priorities right this very second. Once school starts, I imagine I am going to use it. I have decided I am going to keep the monthly calendar. And then here's monthly spending. I ended up running, this will be completely blurred out, but I ended up running out of room entirely for this, and I still haven't even written down all of our expenditures. But in regards to the habit tracker, I did actually really well with the habit tracker. I'll go ahead and mark everything that I've accomplished today. None of these days I got all my habits in, and you can tell it's like really sparse in here. Around the 15th, and that was right before my nursing entrance exam, I just slacked off. I wasn't doing anything at all, and then it just took me a while to get back on track. I was really good on my supplements, which I'm pretty proud of myself, and I did add more to my supplement routine. My mood tracker, I didn't start bullet journaling until the 3rd, which is why there are these blank spaces here. I've realized that I feel better than I thought I did. That is actually a really good thing to learn about yourself. This was like a meal plan for the rest of the week, but I'm not really using that either because I never made pea soup. Here's an example of one of my meal plans. I plan my meals so they last more than one day. It seems like my boyfriend doesn't really like that, but I don't like to cook every day. I make enough to have leftovers. Here's my weekly meal plan, sort of filled up. You can see a lot of it's just teas. That's my nursing entrance exam. I was just studying. I started out with highlighting to note completions. Again, don't like highlighters. A part of my minimalist journey, I'm donating and selling and getting rid of a lot of my things, so I'm documenting everything. At least these are just my clothes of the stuff I'm gonna donate or sell, and these are things that I've marked to give away to friends. This is my purchase list that I want, and I'll actually come back here. I'll really reflect on what I want to buy and if I really do need these things or if I really do want these things. But yeah, I marked that so I can keep coming back because I come back to this at least once a week. These are just some designs I drew really quick about my dream house, and then here are some other dream house requirements that I have. This is just some character notes. I make characters and I couldn't keep track of his history, so I just wrote down. This is another like weekly thing, well daily, but I made this really pretty because I wanted to go with my boyfriend, but he gets really stressed out from work, so when he comes home he doesn't want to go out. So I wrote it really big and pretty so I wouldn't forget it, and then eventually on his day off we went and we had a good time. So this is March. I ended up not doing very much of a design because I didn't know what to draw for March, but so I wrote down all the holidays, but then I decided I'm not going to keep this either. I'm probably going to go back to drawing designs if I can figure out a design to draw, maybe just to print out because I'm lazy. I ended up putting all the holidays on the monthly calendar anyway. And as you can see, this is much more full than the February calendar, which is why I decided I'm going to keep it. I looked at some daily holidays and I thought they were really interesting. So this is actually a much more organized version. of my habit tracker. I ended up lining my mood tracker and my habit tracker up to see if there is any correlation between the habits I complete and the mood I am. And I added a few things. I was doing really well for most of February, but I'm struggling now waking up early. So I went ahead and added that as part of my habit tracker. I decided that I'm not going to take a habit off of my habit tracker list until I've done it all but one day. I can forgive myself for one day. This list is likely to get longer, so I added there are 3 extra spaces here. And the mood tracker is pretty much the same. I just divided the days by 5. Like I said earlier, I have trouble following the dots all the way down. This is my monthly spending. I made it a lot more organized than last time. I went ahead and just pre-gridded it out. This is going to be the column on who spends what, me, Billy, or if someone spent something on me, or any of us, and then this is going to be the dollar amount, and then this is going to be a description of what it is. So at the end of the month, I can go ahead and look back and decide if that was a luxury or not a luxury, or if it's not a luxury, is there a way to cut costs? Here's my weekly planner. I decided to just continue on with the whole rolling ice cream pretty decoration I had here as a weekly goal. So this week I want to go hiking, so I made it really big. I didn't like that this bled through, so I won't be using permanent marker anymore on this paper, and these are just to-do lists, things I've done so far. I did decide to add a feelings department and a food department because my mood tracker only documented an overview of how I felt for the day. I have plenty of mood swings during the day. On the overall grand scheme, I felt good that day. I feel like it's not really paying attention to, my intense mood swings for that short period of time. So I went ahead and added this so I could document all my different feelings for the day, I suppose. As I thought I was, even though I was buying healthy food, I wasn't eating healthy food every day. Some good food habits that I can reinforce or bad food habits that I can reduce and just limit to days where I'm treating myself. I'm actually dedicating a whole page to one day, which I saw someone else's bullet journal, and initially I thought that was way too much to do for one day. After a while I realized, a lot of stuff happens in a day. Oh, another thing is about these tabs. Just like the spirals, tabs are really flimsy. These can actually very easily break when I start going to school again, so I don't know if I want to keep these. But yeah, that is my updated bullet journal.